This is Leafs Late. Hi, this is Mike Ross, public address announcer for your Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is the Leafs Late Night Podcast, your post-game destination. And now, your starting lineup. Roscoe, the Fanalist, Southey, Wiener, and Darty Brodeur on the Leafs Late Night Podcast.
Get out of here. That is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
My God. Welcome to Leafs Late Night. That was the one and only Mike Bank Arena, your Toronto Maple Leafs, in bringing you your Leafs Late Night team. How cool is that? Thank you, Beener, for hooking that up. Oh my God. We are live once again on YouTube. The Leafs won. I'm back. I got to watch the whole thing. I wasn't working. I'm in a great mood, you guys. This is awesome. How are y'all feeling?
Good. So good. Oh, too good.
Take it over for a sec while I share this this video to our Discord and Twitter and everything. If you are not already in our Discord, hop on into that because you can follow along. We live chat during every game, and you get all the links to things for lots of fun. There's like 50 people in there now. It's been great.
Yeah.
But anyway, take it over.
Yeah. Beener, thank you so much for that Mike Ross recording. I'm so glad you were on top of it before the rest of the gang, before it came cool to get the script. You know, now there's a draw. It's so popular. Everyone's requesting these scripts for every game. So right on, Beener, for knowing all about that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, sorry, Johnny.
No, go ahead.
Mike Ross, the PA announcer for the Leafs. Every game he'll basically give out the score sheet and starting lineups. And ask is that you do a donation to the MLSE fund and you can have it. So I was actually lucky enough to get the score sheet from Matthew's game that my dad and I were at when he got his 60th goal. And I met Mike that night and talked to him a little bit and asked him if he'd mind doing a little sound clip for our podcast, and there you have it.
And the rest is history, and that is now going to be our intro through the rest of the playoffs here and through the summer at least, because that is too cool. Oh my God, I'm so happy with it. So I missed a couple games, obviously, because I was working. So thank you guys for filling in for me while I was gone. Those episodes were our most played ever. We just fantastic. We had double what we usually get on any episode. I mean, it helps that it's playoffs and Leafs were winning. So thanks, guys. Great job on all those episodes.
Yeah, we missed you. We missed you guys, though.
Definitely missed.
Man, the things that I wanted to talk about, like Jared Spurgeon trying to purposely break Pavel Buchnevich, I think it was, his ankles.
Yeah.
And got a $5,000 fine for it. I don't know if you guys talked about that. That was absolutely crazy. And the other thing that I have to touch on, because it happened since I was last on here, I got in a little bit of a beef on Twitter,
I saw.
So I didn't think that anyone else had ever coined the term power kill before, because I'm not subscribed to The Athletic, which is a paid subscription for anybody who's not familiar with it. I hadn't heard it before. Apparently they coined it back in 2019 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but again, I don't pay to read Columbus Blue Jackets penalty kill articles. Thanks for that chirp there, Bean. So they were quick to kind of jump on the fact that I was looking for credit for this, and were like, how it's kind of absurd that some random podcast thinks that they came up with this when we did. So I just wanted to, I guess, give them credit where credit is due. I did not come up with the term power kill. I just think I revived it. How about that?
You created a meme.
I did. And thanks, guys, for tripling our usual Twitter impressions for that day. I appreciate any exposure is good exposure.
That's right.
And I just want to close it off with a little stat here, courtesy of Southey. In 2021, The Athletic lost $55 million on about $65 million in revenue. So, I mean, I know we don't make money yet, but we don't lose that much. Jesus. So to answer their question and accusation, nobody is reading or paying to read Columbus Blue Jackets penalty kill articles, apparently.
So I will say, I believe I'm the only one on the podcast that does subscribe to them.
Yes.
Now, I definitely do not do it for Columbus Blue Jackets penalty kill articles. And if you read through the article, which I'm probably the first person to do it since it was released in, what was it, late
2019.
2019, sorry. They don't even really say it all that often, and it's more so talking about an article from another website, not even from them. Now, after that, yes, they go and use it a little more often, but it definitely hasn't become a common term until very, very recently.
Yeah, until we added it into our vocabulary on a regular basis, guys. Okay. Leafs Late Night this year has been using the power kill term way more than any other podcast or network or whatever out there. I haven't heard it on literally anywhere. Anywhere. And every time we post this on Twitter, everyone's laughing their ass off. They love the meme. It's like news to them as well. So, well, let's just end that there. You know, power kill, whatever it is. Tonight, the Leafs bounced back, baby, in game 5 after being down 2-0. Sorry, guys, I'm
Oh.
so fucking hyped. Like,
I know,
this...
man. I screamed. I think this was the first time that I definitely made my significant other uncomfortable while they were sitting beside me watching a game, because it wasn't like a yeah, it was like a yes, like the aggressive. Like, I was so happy. I think my neighbors might have been freaked out. And
So
just hello to Sky Blue, who is watching us from our YouTube live. Hello.
Hey.
Nice. Hello, Sky. My wife won't even really watch most playoff games with me anymore because I also get a little heated during them. Not like angry or anything like that, but I get tense, and she has sometimes wondered if I'm gonna have a heart attack or a stroke. So I can completely concur with that. And my cat, this being his first chance at playoff hockey, is not happy with me right now.
Oh, pumpkin.
Yeah, I scared my girlfriend's cat too. Whoops.
Well, just want to just add to that point, though. For me, I'm super crazy. I literally had to buy my girlfriend Bluetooth, like what is it? Those
noise
sleeping
noise
mask.
canceling headphones. Oh, the mask.
No,
yeah.
It's a sleeping mask with Bluetooth in it, so she can't hear me from the other side of the house because I'm screaming so loud. So she needs it in her ears. Yeah, but anyway. Man, I'm so red. I'm still pumped. Like this game, we were on every single position on this roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was. I started like when it was 2-0. I was going through all the motions in my head of like, okay, this is it. Like, maybe they didn't have it, one in the off season. Like, I went through everything in a matter of like 2 minutes. Oh, it was so bad. And then 10 minutes in, they just flipped a switch and went, okay, it took a whole game and 10 minutes to learn from our mistakes. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
And no team in this series have come back after a lead, right? And tonight was the night to change that narrative in this series. And, Leafs with the home ice advantage, the last change. We have to capitalize on every single dumb mistake Tampa's doing and use everything else in our favor. And tonight, the first period, garbage for the Leafs. I hate to say it, but
what were the shots?
it was
20-6 or something? Like,
it
man,
was
before they turned it on, it was bad.
14-4 to end the first period. But
nice.
Wow. Game, Tampa scored on the first shot. So we were really looking first goal for the Leafs to start it off, because this whole series too, the first team to score ends up winning. But tonight, different story, and let's just jump right into it. The Leafs kept the same lineup, just a little bit of switcheroo going around. Same with Tampa, same lineup, but they switched Point and I believe Palat from the first and second line positions. And then, yeah.
But
Toronto.
Before we get too far into it, I'm normally fairly vocal of being probably the one on the podcast who dislikes Justin Hall the most.
I was going to say the same.
Let's hear
And-
it.
Okay. I think it's safe to say that I despise Steve Simmons more. And
I was gonna say, should we back it up to Steve Simmons? But you're way ahead of me.
Yes.
You're
And
reading my mind right now.
Me too.
As much as I criticize Hall all the time, that is not the place to do it.
No.
You got to kind of like the way that was asked and everything. Good on Sheldon Keefe for keeping a stoic face and stance
Yeah.
in that whole thing.
Just he was asked, "Why did you play your worst defender in that game?" And he said, "Who's our worst defender?" He's like, "Hall." And Keefe's response was, "Well, that's your opinion."
Yeah.
And that was it.
After that, there was no way in hell Justin Hall wasn't playing tonight.
Of course.
And yet, yes, I did tweet a little sarcastic remark over the fact that one of the justifications for having him in the lineup is because he's supposedly fairly decent on the penalty kill. And he made a gaffe on the penalty kill that resulted in a goal. But aside from that,
it was the only goal he was on against.
Yep. 5-on-5, he was better tonight. So yet again, I'll continue to eat crow every single game if he can play well. Because there was a point where him and Jake Muzzin were our best defensive pair. What was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So if they can get back to that, I will be more than happy. But he's got a long way to go before I completely let him off the hook.
Yeah, I think his ability on the penalty kill gets a little overlooked because, I mean, we were talking about it, the power kill. We've been expecting offensive chances every time the Leafs are shorthanded. But I think Hall's been very good defensively on the penalty kill. So it kind of goes overlooked because he's not necessarily creating chances for the offense, but he's clearing everything and managing the space well. And I think he did a great job of that tonight. He, right at the end of the game there, was able to clear the puck out when it was 6-on-5. So just great defensive playing from him. And that's, like you said, it's nice to see getting back to form. Muzzin has been back to form. Oh my God, the guy's scoring more than he did all season and taking so many shots. Like, I thought he could have got another one tonight.
I think this just goes back to that whole narrative.
It's pronounced Hall.
Hall, yeah. Hall, whatever. Justin, okay? But it goes back to that whole mindset of, it's not on one person. If someone screws up, it's on the whole team, especially in the playoffs. And we saw that tonight in the first period. It wasn't just because Justin Hall did whatever. The first period, everyone, in my opinion, was behind at least half of a step. There was too much gap in between the man that they were supposed to have. Everyone was just super slow and not on it, not aggressive, and that led to the first couple of goals. Just stupid plays. It wasn't like our regular Leafs plays, but in the second and the third, just completely switcheroo, and you couldn't pinpoint anyone because everyone just pulled up their socks at that point.
Yeah, it was about that TV timeout mark, about the 10 minutes into the first period, where it was like, okay, let's start to regroup here. And they kind of were like, they were still getting outshot like crazy, and Tampa was managing to block a lot of shots. So I think the 4 shots on goal is a little, I don't know how many shot attempts they had in the first, but I know it's more than 4 or 5. So I think they started to get the offense going. But yeah, the second and third, it was just absolutely all the Leafs playing their game. Tampa going, oh, so fun to watch. Oh, my hands were sweating. Those were crazy. Hey, David Garvin in the chat there. Heart rate back to normal. Good to hear. Mine is not yet.
But yeah, it was just one of those, even the Brody penalty on Paul, too much space in between him. If he was a step ahead, he wouldn't have put the stick in his hands. And unfortunately, that led to the Hedman goal 21 seconds into the power play. And at that point, Paul unable to get the puck off the boards. Play. Kucherov sends it to Hedman, high point, one-timer in. Like, no one was on Hedman. No one really tried to get the puck off the board. And then 52 seconds later, well, that goal happened 52 seconds later. And at that point, you're down 2-0. And we're like, oh. But yeah, I'm so glad about that TV timeout in Spezza. Campbell, that little interaction.
Yeah, that was so nice. Cali Cartel in the chat here on YouTube. Apparently, Cooper was calling the 4-on-4 goals special teams because he's being a sore loser. It's like, no, it's even strength, bro. Sorry. Just because there's more space and our team is better when there's more space on the ice.
Yeah.
Let's get into the second period because, I mean, that pretty much wraps up the first. It was mostly in Tampa's favor till the Leafs were able to start to regroup. Sorry, I'm just re-pulling up because I was looking at Athletics' $55 million deficit. Just going to throw that out there again. Whoopsie.
7 penalties in the first period. You just knew at the end that things were lopsided. Nylander taking that horrible holding call as well. Just something you cannot do in this type of series because it seems like everything under the sun's getting called except for murders on the ice. So
yeah, Leafs, they said 100 only minutes in the series, and that's before most of them in this game. Are you joking? That's like I don't even too many. But I mean, Tampa's taken over 102 going into this game, but like this series has playoff series. I don't think either team was expecting this.
No. I'm okay with them calling the rules because that's what everybody's been preaching for years. If it's a penalty in October, it's a penalty in April, May, June, wherever you are in the playoffs. But what annoys me the most is the stuff like the call on Giordano, the call on Nylander. Like, really, the call on Nylander, that's not a penalty. The call on Giordano is definitely not a penalty.
This guy was falling already, and Nylander or Gio just had his stick in both hands, touching his back. Oh, it's cross-checking. Okay, then how was that? And then the hit on Bunting isn't interference. Yep. And then there was another, and like 45 seconds before that, if that, there was another interference. There were so many missed interference calls on Tampa. It was crazy.
Guys, apparently the softest team in the league, aka the Leafs, just like everyone says. Yeah, we lead with the most penalties in this playoff series. But just to put it into perspective, before tonight, there was 41 combined power play opportunities between both teams. In the Pens and New York Rangers series, there has been 21 combined. So it's just beyond, right? We watched the game and just screaming out of frustration. And, tonight there was a couple penalties. Of course, you have to call that all day long. But just like you guys said, the Gio penalty, come on, guys. Like,
okay, I kind of hinted at this on Twitter, but Tampa took too many men on the ice penalties this game. I'm not saying both of them were on purpose. But last year in the playoffs against the Islanders, they famously scored a goal when they had 7 players on the ice and it didn't get called. I think they just are trying to push it every now and then and be like, whatever.
Yeah.
If it gets called, it gets called. But if we score, there were 6 guys on the ice, there were 5. I don't know. Who's counting?
Yeah. And even when we would go on the power play, even just like last game, it wouldn't stick. At the end of the first period, Marner gets called like 6 seconds into Toronto's power play.
And brutal.
It's so frustrating, right? And, good on Spezza, like I said, calming down Campbell, saying, hey, there's so much time left. Like, don't get in your head. And I have to applaud the Scotiabank Arena tonight for staying loud because John Cooper said coming into tonight that he wants to pretty much manipulate the crowd, quiet the crowd, and get the Leafs nervous because we know when it's a quiet barn, it's not good for the Buds. So
my favorite was
they stay loud.
When Matthews just absolutely obliterated Sergachev and everybody just starts chanting MVP while he's like basically out on the ice, unable to stand up because he got hit so hard. And everyone's MVP. Matthews had so many hits tonight.
Oh, full on beast mode tonight. Full on beast mode.
Beast. So, and 7 hits.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling here because we're all so excited and in such a good mood.
I know.
Like that is what we talked about, what we needed from these guys, right? If you're not doing it, because when he started hitting, he wasn't doing it on the score sheet yet because he just couldn't catch a break. When you're not doing it on the score sheet, you got to find a way to get engaged and you got to find a way to keep the momentum going, keep your team into it. Hit, take away, block, whatever it is. And he was definitely doing that tonight.
Oh my God. Yeah. He was really showing that he has improved all across the ice. He's not going down easy. He is not losing. This is, they're making a mark this time. So, point here from Cali Cartel in the YouTube chat. Cooper thought they didn't need more than 2 goals. Wow, the arrogance. So, yeah, it's a good point that, oh God, I got to do the thing.
I
No,
like
it says
the
you have to.
thing.
He's here. Is it not going to work? Oh no, my soundboard's already dead. So sorry. No.
Welcome,
Okay,
Darty. Solo.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys were listening to any other shows around Toronto this week, whether it be Dangles or Overdrive or Merrick and Friedman, but a lot of people were talking about John Tavares. Everybody's been saying how he needs to show up. It's 91 against 91. The aging, star centers that really need to be the deciding factor in this series. And he hasn't been scoring, but has been doing all of the John Tavares things right. So I think it's been just a matter of time before he scored. And finally, tonight on the power play, he does. And he sets up Riley for a beautiful one. Not only that, but Nylander scores again. So silencing the Tavares haters, the Nylander haters. And what was the other story? Oh, yeah, all the stars need to show up. Oh, Matthews and Marner scored too, and so did Riley. So this was
He didn't score, but there was
checking
haters
all
there.
the boxes of things that needed to happen in this offseason or this postseason for everything to work. And ta-da, they win. I love it.
Yeah. This was the game to show up or just get out. We want JT to obviously shine on the score sheet as well. And the other things he's been doing is noticeable to those who actually watch the game, but others who just look at the scoreboard and see that, JT is scoreless in X amount of games. Yeah, they're going to be a little fired up. And I know, Darty, you have some strong opinions about this as well. And we all know like JT should be playing up to his value. But at the same time, it's been a tough series. And the only person who's tougher on JT is himself. Don't you think this guy knows that he needs to perform? Like, he is super hard on himself. And it goes back to my original point. You either win as a team or lose as a team. And tonight, those guys that we needed to shine came through because they realized what's at stake.
Oh, yeah. And even the guys that weren't the ones that scored, like you had Blackwell giving absolutely everything. You had Mikheyev and Engvall both just trying to tear through, trying to get anything going in front of the net. They both almost had kind of one-on-one, almost breakaway chances. Everybody was just playing their best tonight. It was fantastic.
Yeah, really,
Darty, did
really
you have
good.
something you wanted to say?
Ever specifically called out Tavares on this show? Maybe. But you can, find, I'm sure Mark find a quote of me saying that, but I don't think I've ever specifically called out Tavares. Like, I have no problems with him. I just think sometimes his playing with the power of friendship is not enough for Leafs fans. We need him to actually, go out there and score. No, it's a great player. There's nothing wrong with that, but we need the intensity. We need the hashtag trademark all of these players, right? And it's crazy to think about because, like, yeah, if down to like, what makes this team, like, these guys don't have to give their blood, sweat, and tears for us. It would be nice, but at the same time,
I'm not saying it wouldn't be nice.
yeah, but at the same time, like, they really fucking do, because like this is like, I'm trying to think of like what, like, it's remember when I fire Bettman, every time I say fire Bettman, it's for a specific reason, all right? And it's not just because I actually hate Gary Bettman, it's because like I'm gonna bring it back to this cap is fucking us, but this is the Yankees of the National Hockey League, and the reason that we're such a fucking is we can't throw our money at people's faces, and it would be amazing if we could, and that's really what's holding us back. It's sad but true, right? I would love to lose because we have too much money on our team, like really too much money. Like, we've just completely just spent, but it's
Like
literally this cap that, yeah. But we're a pretty reasonable team, surprisingly. Like, we have to do what we can to keep players on our team, but we're not like I said, we're not like the Dodgers who have lost. Obviously they lost during cheating years, but they lost. Their payroll's huge, right? Like they've lost to teams who like the Rays have like a payroll of $20 million, right? Like we're not surprisingly. The Leafs are we are up at the cap, but we're pretty, reasonable. Yes, you keep losing every single fucking year to stupid shit like these refs. What the hell is this tit for tat bullshit? Like, let the kids fucking play, all right?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's just I could go on and on and on, but the way this league is set up, it's really throwing in the face that a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs does deserve to have a little bit of that extra star power, that extra pizzazz, that extra, razzmatazz that a team like the fucking Yankees have, right? A team like the fucking Los Angeles Lakers have.
That's the name of the episode.
We do need to be treated like the fucking Los Angeles Lakers. I'd rather be a joke, unfortunately, like Manchester United, than a joke that the Leafs have been right now, because the ability to be better than we are because of these limitations that fucking Bettman has put us under is kind of sad. And that's it. Sorry about that point.
Or the joke like the Lightning are circumventing the cap and then making t-shirts in the playoffs, making fun of it.
Like, that's another thing, B. We could have done that, and we didn't, all right? And we're always the constant joke in this league. Like, people are talking right now on Twitter and stuff like, oh, these Leafs fans, you're not believing enough. Of course we don't believe in our fucking team, because we've seen miserable losses time and time again, all right? I can't be upset with Leafs fans who shut off the game after the first period. It was dog shit. That was miserable to watch, all right? And I'm proud of to stuck it out, believed the entire time, but I'm sorry to say, but it's anybody who's a Leafs fan just all in their heart, like, I love this team, they can do nothing wrong. Like, I will send Cutco salesmen to your house because clearly you'll buy anything.
I underestimated how hard it would be to spell Pizazz and Razzmatazz as I tried to change the name of the video.
We have been screwed so many times. I love the passion. I love the you can't fault Leafs fans that shut the game off after the first period. We've seen it before, all right? It's like, it's like your boyfriend cheating on you, like, and then trying to come back to you. It's like, we've seen this shit before. It sucks.
To my earlier point, though, I feel like they started to come back before the first period was over. Like, they scored early on in the second because of the momentum that they ended the first period with. Like, they could have easily had a goal to end the first, but Vasilevsky was just... I mean, he, like I said, they were blocking a lot of shots in front of him, and he made those 4 saves that he had to. I think they started off rough. Like I said, I went through all the motions in the first 10 minutes of like, oh my God, this is it. We're done. But but look, they were able to regroup quicker than they normally do. Like, it was the middle of the period or close to it when they were able to turn things around, and I think that says a lot about the growth of this team. So my next question, because we've taken a long time and not really broken down individual things, which was your favorite goal? And I'll start with you, Steph.
Oh, this is really tough. This is a really tough question. I'm very happy about JT obviously scoring his first of the series. It was really needed. And also, I'm glad William Nylander activated, right? Like, we need him to be consistent every single game. And I know people out there after tonight are saying, whoever shits on Nylander, you don't know anything. But come on, guys. We watch every single game. He's not at 100% every night. We've talked about it all season long, but this is just my opinion. You can hate on me later, but
no, I agree. I'm tired of this back and forth. Every time he has a good game, it's, oh, everybody's got to stop hating on him. And then he has 6 bad games in a row, and the same people drag him through the mud. And then he scores 2 goals, and everyone's like, oh yeah, see, he's the best. Like, no, you can never say anything bad about him. Even he says bad things about his own game. Like, he himself said he was playing like shit. Like, it's right there.
But nobody enjoys watching. Sorry, go ahead, Steph.
Oh, that's why I said earlier, a month ago or so, where I felt kind of uncomfortable slandering Nylander because of how he started in the beginning of the year. He was super, super hot, and then he cooled off, and then he got back on again. And, just back to, I have to give it to Austin Matthews because he was the one with goal. And on the day, I'm just so glad Marner did not pass it. He took the fucking shot, which created the rebound for Matthews, who had a wide open cage. If he were to pass it, that would have easily gotten blocked. Tonight, there were a shit ton of blocks all across the board on both ends. You know, no straight shot was going through. It had to fool Vasilevsky one way or another. So, yeah, Poppy all night long.
If you watch, sorry, Darty, if you watch that goal though, with Cernak going down the way he did and at the time that he did, that was Marner's only chance. And Marner looked at the net and looked at where Matthews was coming in, and he purposefully shot for that pad for a rebound.
Yes.
He could have easily tried to beat him upstairs and try to get the goal himself, but he knew that Matthews was there, and that was pretty much as close to a sure thing as you could get for a goal.
Smart.
Yeah. Darty?
And
I'd say
also,
one,
can
you
we
never have to
call real quick?
Oh, go for it.
Can we call any hating of Nylander knee slander? Anyway, go on.
Yes.
No more knee slander, all right? No, one, you never have to apologize for taking up my airtime. Speak, the more chances are this show gets off the air. Two, it's what I was actually kind of saying a couple episodes ago about putting the puck on the numbers, right? Like at the end of the day, we've learned one, you can't really, it's hard to fool Vasilevsky, all right? So you're gonna have to take a shot, which they like. It drives me, and I'm sure it drives all of Leafs Nation furious that these kids love to play patty cake. Stop, if you have the fucking shot, all right? Especially because just like our good pal Wayne Gretzky / Michael Scott once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And William Nylander
It was so
70% of them because he whiffs so fucking much. So you might as well take the fucking shot, boys. All right, especially Marner.
I'm gonna have to put an explicit tag on this episode.
You just gotta beep him out. Where's the
Johnny doesn't want to have to sit through the
live.
episode. Beat me though, because we're already gonna be late by the time this finishes.
Late
You
night.
know, David Garvin doesn't like my knee slander. He says that's a war crime.
It's a work. But no, you gotta put the pucks on Vasilevsky. Like at some point, he is going to, he's the kind of goaltender. It looks like that he needs, the more on him, the more nervous he gets.
Yeah.
If you play in front of him, yeah, he's gonna play savvy. But you need to start just peppering the guy. It's just
true.
You might catch a rebound.
From our YouTube chat here, Sky Blue's favorite was Matthews, and so was David Garvin's. David says,
Nice.
Fave goal was AM34. That was a brilliant, deliberate rebound shot by Mitch Marner. I think AM34 said nice pass in the celly. So agrees with everything we said. My favorite, however,
nice pass.
was Riley's because of the effort by John Tavares behind the net, just dancing around, holding the nice
Morgan Riley.
Beaner's got his what's it called again? The
next gen,
right? The next gen Riley jersey on looks lovely. I'm jealous.
Tim Biebs jersey.
Oh, I should get my Tim Biebs hat for the next episode. I'm gonna wear my Tim Biebs hat on the next episode. I'm finally gonna open it. Should I sell it since it's still sealed? Oh, we'll decide.
Did we ever even do a Tim Biebs episode? I thought like 50
No!
episodes ago we were supposed to do a Tim Biebs reveal. All right, here at Leafs Late in front of you and just never fucking.
We
deliver.
tried. Okay, if you missed that episode, we tried.
I agree with you. Got to be Riley's goal from tonight. Just the passion, the way that the whole team was fooled, because every Tampa player was looking the other way, and Riley was wide open. And beautiful shot. And really, Darty, is it? I don't want to shoot anybody in the foot here. Hard to beat him this series, Vasi.
David Kampf's done it twice with the same shot.
Jake Muzzin's done it twice.
Okay, but he was good every year in the playoffs. This is the only time Jake Muzzin turns on his shot for some reason.
But there were several moments in the game where Vasilevsky was making save after save after save and shutting the door like crazy. Obviously, he's one of the best goaltenders in the world. And tonight, it's hard for me to pick my favorite goal. Of course, it's the game-winning goal, but every goal was won and scored with tons of effort. Nothing came out of luck. Like, it wasn't a funky rebound that ended up on someone's stick and happened to go in, or up here and you couldn't really explain the outcome. Tonight, it was pure effort, and just like JT on the power play, Morgan Riley intercepting that pass right in front, Nylander going flying down, and then Matthews. It's just 100% starting from the second period anyways, and really showed what these guys have. They have what it takes, right? Like the emotions we had in the first period, we were all like, oh my God, what are we going to do if we lose this game? We can't go back to Tampa and then have another loss, la, 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 la. Now, look at us now, winning in regulation. Yeah, winning in regulation, not bringing it to OT, because when Ryan McDonough scored that goal, I'm sure Leafs Nation once again lost their breath and couldn't control themselves, right?
We were down 2-0. Everybody has an excuse to be upset about that. We started the game down 2-0. All right. It's not like, right? Like we've seen these collapses. Like, of course, so you can't blame anybody's heart for stopping. Like if anybody's at like St. Michael's Hospital right now, dealing with a heart condition, I don't blame them. It was they started the game down like
at the same time, you're against Tampa, and it's Steven Stamkos and Victor Hedman. It's not like you gave up a goal to like Patrick Maroon off of a fluke thing. Like it was really good goal scorers that managed to set up decent plays off of mistakes the Leafs made. So I mean, yeah, they made mistakes and they went down 2-0. It sucks. I'm trying not to get too low on how they were playing, because they managed to turn it around and adjust so quickly, and adjusting is something they've had a problem with. So I'm trying to give credit where credit is due.
But
I think
Vasilevsky, right? And we're saying, it's not so difficult to score on.
Have a good night, David Garvin, who is signing off. Thank you for joining us on Top Chat. Thank you. Sorry.
We love you. Thing is, of course we can score on him, but when we start the game behind 2 goals, it's not necessarily a sieve. Yes, we have done it, but the thing is like, you have only so much time to, beat this guy who's one of the best. And if they're better than you that game, their offense, you're fucked. We've seen this, right? Every game we've lost so far, their offense came out gunning. And unfortunately, as many, it was too little too late, right? Because we're not, besides that one game where we blew them out 5-0, we're not coming out here doing anything crazy, explosive offense, right? Like there's been explosions, but it's just, we have to make sure that we're not putting ourselves, vulnerable either, right? Because it's not we can't just get, we can't bank on getting 3 goals in a row on Vasilevsky. We can't. It would be nice. I would love it in a perfect world, but we just can't bank on that, right? Keep the pressure, keep the hustle, keep the effort.
I think something we can bank on, though, just what happened in the second period anyways, no penalties for the Leafs. And this really helped to the momentum. And then in the third period, they only took 1 penalty, and same with Tampa. We finally got a ton of 5-on-5 play, which completely turned around this game. The first period, 7 penalties alone. You don't have time to fucking breathe, right? And then you screw up on one little thing, and the Leafs were tired as hell. And on that McDonough goal, that was a small error that they happened to capitalize on, because the puck just comes out to the slot and McDonough is able to just, come out of nowhere and take that shot. It goes by Campbell. The Tampa's our evil twin. Any little thing, we're fucked, right? Like it's good we're overcoming them on the dot and these little things on 5-on-5, but next game is going to be the hardest game yet. This is just a peek into what's coming in Tampa, in 2 days. So
oh yeah, they're going to be on their heels, and they're not going to go down easy. Like it's going to be the best game of the season by far.
Hottest, right? We're going to be out in Tampa, so
So we got to go on to Twitter questions, because we are about 40 minutes in here. First one here comes from Fadi at Swifter_Brax. Can Simmons eat the entire Toronto Sun newspaper tomorrow, record it, and play it on Twitter? Yes, please.
It's a very pulpy newspaper. I don't ask him if he likes pulp.
He's a very pulpy kind of guy. Steve Simmons seems like a guy who likes a lot of pulp in his orange juice.
Justin
Just to be a
Hall?
contrary, like if everyone said that, they don't like pulp, he would be like, "Oh, guys, but pulp, are you guys silly? Pulp and orange juice is the best."
Justin Hall, a +1 tonight, an assist, had 2 in shorthanded. So he did his job. 3 hits. Besides that first goal, the whole team together in the second period just played a whole different game. So I'm glad Keefe kind of stuck it to him and it worked out in the Leafs' favor.
Johnny, why are you drinking the worst breakfast juice? Like, come on.
What?
Get out of here.
Beaner only drinks the Globe and Mail.
So more of a statement. This is from Pat Hurdle at Pat Hurdle. Thanks, Pat Hurdle.
Come on, Tomas Hurdle.
That was the most wonderful fuck everyone trashing us comeback time. Maybe this team is different. I think this team is different. And we've just seen the beginning, I hope, of their playoff performance.
You know what's funny, Johnny?
So, yeah.
Just when you said that maybe, it reminded me of throwback to and his maybe thing. Remember when he like played that farmer video about it's the motivational thing. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do with that cow? I don't know, maybe. You guys remember that?
No.
No.
Maybe.
I don't know, maybe. Next one here is from Maple Leaf Fan. Thank you, at Maple Leaf Fan. In both games 2 and 4, when the Leafs lost, they never quit and added goals in the third. Tonight they were down and again didn't quit. The quit is not the same this year. It is different. This team is different. Is it just my imagination? This is what everybody's saying. It's like, this is not the same team. This team, I'm just going to tie this into another one we got. That's a question from TML, Fan and Van, Marty Zylstra, Austin Matthews, Rocket. In the AM34 era, have the Leafs come back from a 2+ goal deficit to win a game and go ahead in a series? No, I don't think so. Like the fact that this team does not give up it's so much different.
Not 2+ goals, but game 3 versus Washington in Matthews' rookie year, we were down 2 and then came back and won in overtime to take a 2-1 series lead.
Thank you.
I love you. How do you store that information? Bobby Gosh 90. Anyone who does
Gosh, Bobby
Gosh.
Gosh.
That was very
Bobby
gauche of you, Johnny.
I'm sorry. This is what happens when I take too many games off. Just reset
Get
my
with
mind.
it.
I'm sorry, Bobby.
9.
Anyone who doubts Nylander can go fuck themselves and clear space
go.
in front of Campbell. See, I'm sorry, Bobby. It's some Maple Leaf Wikipedia Beaner, says Lucas Hainsworth. Hey, Lucas. Who's that? At Mike the Fanatic. Thanks, Mike. Voice gone, blood pressure gone. Absolutely in full force. Not a question about the game, just a vibe check with all of you. How are you feeling? Kobe said it best, though. Job's not finished. Oh, man.
Marty also asked, do you have the passion? Of course.
Oh, I have the passion.
We have the passion.
Thank you, Sky Blue, for sticking around in the live chat with us up until now. Have a good night. Signing off. Well, if you would like to join our live chat, you can be a part of it and send us questions during the show like this and be a part of the whole thing. It's fun. Next one from Wally Yaroslavsky. I apologize if I got that one wrong. Will the Leafs learn their lesson that they have to skate full-time during the whole game to beat the Bolts? Champs are too wise and Leafs are faster, younger.
I hope so. Right?
Yeah, this sounds like a Darty point. Do you want to take this one?
Can you repeat the question? Could you tell me the language of origin, please?
Lesson? Will the Leafs learn their lesson that they have to skate full-time during the whole game to beat the Bolts?
I fucking hope so. All right, because look, everybody's on their high horse right now. All right, I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, by the way. All right, but it's like it's like that knows money from you, and you keep giving him money. He says, "Don't worry, I'm going on. I'll spot you that C note. I promise you, I'll pay." a couple $100 deep with me, bud. Like, like don't worry. I'll buy you Timmy's tomorrow. I'll buy you Timmy's. Like, I got, get the whole Timbits pack, a little farmy wrap. It's like, our $200. Like, the Leafs have screwed us over, Leafs fans. They have screwed us over in many ways. They've screwed themselves over because it doesn't look good for them. So we have not won yet. The fat lady, we have to win one game to win it.
One more.
Funny thing, though, we've been here before, right? And we have been screwed. And I'm not saying that I don't think the Leafs can't do it. Trust me, in my heart, nothing will make me happier because, like, the last time, so when the Raptors on their last game before Kawhi Leonard hit that shot, I didn't watch them hit the shot. I said, fuck it. These guys are not playing well. These guys, just because, like, it's a Toronto team. I was like, we're going to get dusted and it's going to be over. And I went to sleep and I woke up early that day, not purposely waking up early. I woke up, and when I looked at my phone, all of a sudden it was blowing up. It was a beautiful sunny day. I was looking at my phone, watching that shot over and over. And it was the most exhilarating thing. I was like, oh my God, they did it. Yeah. The Raptors did it.
They did.
And
it was
it was so beautiful. And that's why, and I feel bad for the Leafs because Kawhi Leonard did that, because like the expectations have only gone higher for Leafs fans, right? Because we see that happen in our city. We know what can happen. And we want it so bad. So if we only need to win one more game, just win. It doesn't have to be a beautiful game. It doesn't have to be the best game, but you have to win it. You have to get the W. Will they do it?
Yeah.
They have to show that they want, right? Like, we can't see, unfortunately, we can't see William Nylander going into the corners and back. It's sad to say, like, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but if you're going to beat Tampa, this team play for, they don't. Like, they've won twice. Like, what the hell are they playing for? They really want to go get 3? Like does Corey Perry like really that much of a boon to your team that, like, he's going to take you to the prom? He wants one? I doubt that. Mm. Like, what are these fucking guys playing for? Is it glory? Because but they're out there every single night playing us and pushing us to the effing limit. So obviously, a team that, again, they've won at least majority of the guys on that team have won something. We need to show, because we've won nothing, that we want it more. That not only do we not want them, it's not just you want make sure that they lose, that they don't get the fucking satisfaction of making you feel like losers. That's it.
Yeah.
Is Darty our O-Dog?
Maybe. I don't know. I like it, though.
Might be. Oh, I love it.
Hey, Marty, tell me what heartache medications you use, all right? Because I'm gonna need something for later.
I agree, Darty.
Marty.
Listen, we cannot. Okay, it's possible, but in the Leafs' best interest, we cannot bring this to Game 7. We only want to face Tampa one more time. We don't want to face them two more times. Why do we want to do this the hard way? And we can't just say, "Oh, we're going to Tampa, so let's just bank a loss." No. We have the passion, and the passion includes believing and not turning off Leaf games when they're down, and also not slandering the Leafs 5 minutes into the game and saying that they lost the series when literally every other fucking series in the playoffs are at 2-2 besides the sweep.
Yeah, but who cares, right? This is Leafs Nation, all right? I don't give a shit about any about Connor McDavid, but fuck those other teams, all right? They can all win and lose by 7-0 and still make the playoffs or still make it to the promised lands. It's his Leafs Nation, all right? We critique the Leafs, so they better goddamn win. That's right.
Speaking of, it was 1-0 on a Troy Stetcher goal last I checked, but Beaner, what's the score of LA Edmonton?
It just got tied 1-1, Zach Kassian. So McDavid kind of dangled and brought Quick out to the far right side of the net, and then he skated around the back of the net to Kassian out front, who tapped it in.
Dang.
Wow.
And Darty, just to
told you that one was going to be 7.
No NHL team has won 3 cups in a row since the early 80s. The Lightning want to be that team.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Sounds like it's not going to happen, and it sounds like something silly and minuscule. but to the players on that team, that would definitely be
course.
something worth playing for.
Of
Well,
course
keep
it
in
is.
mind, this franchise kind of built from scratch, right? Stamkos was saying when he first came to Tampa, the stands were empty. He kind of hated playing in Tampa to begin with, and they brought this franchise from nothing to something to literally a like legacy in a sense. This core group has done it all, and like I don't blame them, of course, against the Toronto Maple Leafs out of everyone else, Stamkos' home team, of course, but hey, the passion. We're next. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. But yeah, sorry guys. I'm
Fired up.
Fired up. Fired
John,
up. Sorry.
if you have to move on, you move on. But I did have one last thing to point out.
You could finish it off, Darty, and then we got to move on because
We're talking
gonna
about the
go over.
passion. Darty's a fan of a lot of sports, all right? I'm actually a huge Dodgers fan, and the Dodgers, they're I guess what do you call it? Their manager is like basically the head coach kind of thing in baseball. Their manager is Dave Roberts, all right? And Dave Roberts, a lot of people don't know hockey thing, but Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers. Well, I didn't know much. Now I found out about him that he played for a team that kind of suffered a little bit like the Leafs did. All right. So the Leafs obviously were on one of the longest droughts in history. Right. But there's another team. All right. It's called the Curse of the Bambino. It's the Boston Red Sox. And it took them forever to break that curse. And if you just follow baseball now, the Red Sox have actually won a lot. That city of Boston has won a lot. All right. But before the Red Sox won in 2004, it'd be hard pressed to find a win for them. Now, Dave Roberts, I wanted to see how Boston won that series, how the Red Sox won that series. And this man, so many fucking bases when it mattered. It was like, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but watching it gave me chills. All right. Because the game after that cup, they keep going on. They ended up going to the promised lands all because this son of a bitch stole so many fucking bases in a game that ended up right. And I've watched the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, high payroll team. I talked about that earlier in the show here. They got robbed twice. All right. Whatever you want to say, whatever. They got robbed twice. And I always look, he had this stoic look on his face every single time. And it used to bother me. And I kind of understand now why, because it's hard to deal with tough losses, but you also have to just, as a player, like sometimes you got to take that risk, right? Like Dave Ross stealing those bases and it'd be over, right? Because it wasn't for him to take them on those plays. Like if he got caught, I think they were like two outs, right? Three. Everybody knows 3 strikes you're out, right? 3 outs you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Leafs,
they got robbed like Calgary got robbed of the cup in 2004 when Bettman rigged the game so that Tampa could win the cup.
You're talking about the Dodgers? Yeah.
And
but the thing is, the Dodgers ended up making it finally, right? But it took them forever too. But just this chap, it was like, you know what? Think about the Leafs, right? You're gonna have to take some risks. These boys are gonna have to bring it back to my point. These boys are gonna have to take some risks, and I don't want anybody to get injured. But at the same time, right? We only need one game. For the love of God, for all of Leafs Nation, just leave it all out there.
Please.
Okay, so with our final moments here, we got to wrap up with some interesting news that came out of a couple teams since we've last been on. First of which, Lou Lamoriello has relieved Barry Trotz of his head coaching duties of the New York Islanders. Initial reactions, I think it must be hard to work for somebody like Lou Lamoriello. I think Barry Trotz is the perfect coach for that team. And I think that they started their season on the road and played fine after that. Like the problems are with the composition of the roster and not with the coaching of said roster. Like Lou handed him a team that is going to have to play turtled and score on the few chances that they get. And that's
Barry Trotz got handed a team that was essentially a lottery team. His first year with the Islanders, he took them to the second round. Third year took them to the Eastern Conference Final, who they lost to Tampa, who won the cup.
Who scored with
the
7
conference
people on the
final,
ice?
who they lost to Tampa, who won the cup. And then this year, he was given a team who learned how to skate from Darty and I, and didn't make the playoffs, and he gets canned.
Oh.
Like, there's got to be something else going on behind the scenes, because that kind of track record, the guy's a great coach. He is. He wasn't given the right team, and I'm just so glad that all those people on Twitter aren't in charge of the Leafs, because they're all probably still screaming that we should have Lou instead of Dubas as our GM.
But was he not also fired right after the Capitals won the cup with him?
He wasn't fired.
He left.
He didn't have a contract, and then from everything I've heard is he maybe asked for more than the Capitals wanted to pay, and they thought, hey, we just won the cup. We have a team that can win again. We don't need you. We'll find another coach.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's something more, even like Freach said on his podcast, with this record, how like there has to be something under his skin or something going on, because 152, 02, 34, a lot of that comes from this year being 37, 35, and 10. I mean, a 13 game road trip to start off the year, and then they played 50 games in 99 days to end the season, going to the playoffs, losing to the cup champions every time, and then in his first year winning the Jack Adams Award as best coach. Like, this year was the first shit year, of course. Before this season, everyone had the Islanders in the playoffs, like most definitely. So I agree, Bean. I agree with Frege. There's 1 year left on the contract as well. This guy's third all time in victories behind Scotty Bowman and Joe Quenneville. Like, what's got to give? Like, what is it?
So where do we think he lands? My radar is pointing towards Detroit or Philly. Both relieve their head coaches, and that's kind of, I mean, it's in the same. He seems to stick to that Eastern Seaboard, so.
If you talk to half of Twitter or maybe Darty's burner account, it's going to be the Leafs next year.
Darty is technically a burner account if you
only
think
if they
about it.
lose, right? Only if they lose, then we get him. But if we win, then Keefe is the best coach in the world, and Dubas is the best GM ever.
Sorry, Darty.
I
honestly
you know what?
I think Detroit. Yeah, that's a good fit.
Just because they've got a young up and coming team, and I think he'd be good in that situation as a veteran coach. The other one, and I love this so much, Pierre Maguire, 10 months into his contract, is relieved of his duties as whatever the hell Ottawa had him as.
Which comes as a surprise to nobody.
Nobody. This is clear that he was a Eugene Melnyk hiring. Kind of like, okay, Eugene's gone. Can we get rid of Pierre now, please? Great, thanks. It seems like, from what I can, Pierre Maguire oversold to Eugene how far along this team was and how well they would perform this year, and might have kind of tipped the scales on grabbing a few people. I really hope the Travis Hamonic thing was him, because if it wasn't, oh my God, Pierre Dorian, what are you thinking? This was doomed from the beginning. Like, was laughing when they hired him, because he's like one of the most made for his takes. Like, I've always disliked everything he says on every mission, but yeah, surprise to nobody, Pierre Maguire is no longer. Be back on TV, probably. This is what, his second time outside of TV since, like, what was he with the Hartford Whalers as a coach?
he was with the Penguins at one point as well, and
right, yeah, he was.
Unfortunately, we're all going to have to deal with him a little bit more, I believe. But
the Sens don't, and that's good for them.
This is true. Did anyone catch the Sens captain? Speaking of the Sens,
no.
Oh, in the stands watching. Yeah, in the stands at the Flames game, watching his brother having two separate T-shirts mocking his brother.
Oh my
I
god.
missed
The
that.
one
I
in
missed
an
that too.
interview, he's wearing one that says the Rat King, and there's a picture of what looks like Dobby from Harry Potter with a
Oh my
Trump
god.
jersey on. And then when he's sitting in the stands with his dad, he has a beer in his hand that says Matthew Kachuk's friendship tour on it.
I saw the other photos,
unreal.
him going to the game,
Yeah, he's there
but
at
not
the
the
game
shirt.
wearing multiple different shirts for his brother cheering on the Flames.
That's so
awesome.
good.
Wow.
Honestly, I really hope the Sens are able to put something new together for next year. And I don't know. They've got some good talent there. They've just made some really odd moves, like I mentioned, Hamonic, and they've still got Zaitsev. I don't know, man. There's some pieces there that got to go before they can really compete. But I think, oh, I hate to say that.
Batherson's on the Canadian team for the
Oh, great. Good
upcoming
for him.
tournament.
He was
first
really good
line.
this year. He just got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And I
but
guess the last
speaking-
thing we got to. Oh,
Yo,
what
go
do you
ahead.
got?
Go.
No, I was going to say the
I
last
was
thing we got to
just-
talk about is the big news for. I guess the only good news out of a very, 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 very disappointing Montreal Canadiens season. They get Shane Wright. Congratulations, guys! You did it. You lost. You were the best at losing.
Yay.
You beat Seattle. You beat Buffalo. You beat Arizona. You beat who else was down there? Philly, Detroit. You beat everybody to the bottom. Good for you.
The new Price is Right.
Nobody
Winner,
thought you could
Gagnon.
do it. Literally, no one thought you could do this, but you did it against all odds, and we're all proud of you.
Yeah.
Merveilleux.
So, St. Louis sticking around. That'll be nice. It seems like he's getting a lot out of these kids. So, I think Montreal's got a bright future ahead once they can get out from under some very, very interesting contracts.
Yeah. I see that happening. I don't know how long Price is going to last. I don't know if he's going to retire anytime soon, but
He's
they
done.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we
Yeah.
saw it coming,
Speaking of
right?
Speaking of retiring, Patrick Marleau officially retired today, hanging it up after a very frustrating career with both San Jose and the Leafs, and then back to San Jose.
Hey, don't
Depends.
don't forget his tenure with Carolina.
What?
Yeah, he had some time in Carolina apparently.
When the
Forgot
Leafs
about that.
the Leafs traded him there for the cap relief, and then
Oh, I didn't know that's where he went. I
yeah,
forgot about that.
he never played
Wow.
a game. He was there for all of about 10 minutes.
They had a cheeky post on Twitter about it. It's like we thank you for your historic
Nice.
your historic time in a Canes uniform.
Well, it was like they mentioned on the broadcast today that Nick Paul was part of the Jason Spezza trade between Dallas and Ottawa, which is hilarious that now they're playing against each other on Tampa and Toronto. Years later.
The most impressive thing about Marleau for me, because we know that, he's the NHL leader in games played. He passed Gordie Howe back in April 2021 and only missing 31 games throughout his NHL career. But what's even more impressive is that in the NHL's existence over 100 years, Patrick Marleau has played with 37% of all NHL players that have ever played in the NHL, either against them or on their team. So more than a third of all players in the NHL, Patrick Marleau has either faced or played against or with. Isn't that crazy?
He also has the most playoff points of any player.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Sidney Crosby is second only to him, I think.
It's Sidney Crosby who's single-handedly putting the team on his frickin' back, I guess, next to Louis Domingue.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ageless Sid the Kid is carrying them past Igor. Like, I cannot believe the amount of goals they're getting on this Vezina-winning goalie. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Shit's stankin'.
This is not the series that our predictions have gone to shit. I think Beaner's the only one who's nailed one so far because he's the only one who thought Colorado.
Well, he
was
has
gonna,
nailed one. Yeah, that's it.
Nashville.
And there goes my Timmy's points.
Shesterkin has been solid all year long. I saw this stat pop up. He in the regular season, he's only allowed 7 5-hole goals, and in the postseason, he's already let in 7 5-hole goals.
This is the
I told you they were
craziest playoff.
frauds. I told you. And you know what? Like, what did I say? As much as we like to think that Tony D'Angelo, and it's probably 100% true that he's a racist and a piece of shit, it's not like he's not paying off dividends for those Canes who won 5-1 today. All right. So I told you, it's because Georgiev had to come in too for the Rangers, the one who fucking, douche Angelo had a problem with. It's like, I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, I'd take the hard-hitting piece of shit defenseman over 2 stinky goaltenders because, like, those guys are not paying off dividends for that Rags team they're really going to have, like, I know a lot of Rags fans, and I'm sure they hate me for saying this, but I told you so. It's like the Rangers were frauds. They were not good. And unfortunately, I think I feel bad for the Capitals because I do see Florida coming back. I think that they will eventually press on, and
so
for
just a
OB's
quick
sake,
update.
right?
Capitals and Panthers are tied at 2. Stars and Flames are tied at 2. Those, I think, 2 things that nobody expected. Pittsburgh has a chance tomorrow to beat the Rangers 4-1, which is crazy. And Carolina's got a 3-2 lead over Boston. Also, just update to tonight's games. Blues and Wild are tied at 2, and the Kings have taken the lead 2-1 over the Oilers. And that's both those series are tied at 2. So, like, everything is so dead even except for the one that's not. And then Pittsburgh and the Rangers, which doesn't even make sense. So,
congrats to Nazem Kadri for making it to the second round without getting suspended.
Oh yeah, good for him!
Yay! Hooray!
Hooray!
It's a good thing they only played 4 games.
Yeah.
Being at a point there, what are you saying there? Just a heads up, all-time playoff points. It's actually Gretz, Messier, Curry, Anderson, Yager, then Crosby.
Sorry, yeah. So the stat that I heard, it was since 1997, Marleau has the most.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I correct myself there. Yeah.
Sorry.
So in the modern-ish era.
Since we're doing a "you blew it" segment here, I guess
you blew it.
Marty pointed out that I messed up when we were talking last episode. I had mentioned that Simmons was up for the Masterton Trophy when he is actually up for the King Clancy Trophy. So that is entirely on me.
What's the King Clancy for again?
That's the community involvement, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. I was gonna say, if it's like sportsmanship, then that's a fucking joke.
Yeah. Just want to let you guys know, another Leafs legend has also retired last week. Roman Polak announced his retirement after 2 years with Czechia with the HC Vitovice. Anyways, he played 806 NHL games, 240 with the Leafs, 71 playoff games. This stuck out to me because I processed him at the airport and may have given him his work permit back in the day. So, yes, congrats.
I always liked him.
Roman Polak.
Yeah, he's one of the first Leafs I ever felt truly had the passion. All right, because I'm pretty sure someone like hit our tendy or something, and he came out there and just decked somebody. Like he just he grabbed them like Sam, Lord of the Rings going after Shelob. I'm not kidding. That's how he looked. He had the passion. All right, it was one of the only few Leafs out there that I thought, man, this guy actually is fighting. Don't touch him.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, I would do our outro thing, but it's not going to work anyway. So, anything to close us off tonight?
I have a better way to end us out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let's turn over to the game-winning goal to the one and only Hall of Famer Joe Bowen.
Yes.
Oh, take us out, Joe.
Touch them all, Joe.
And I pressed the wrong button. Hang on a sec.
Take us out, Joe.
I'll never call another one again.
For Marner with Matthews. Marner closes, shot, scores! Yes!